extra thing I'm going to talk about because my boss has already been here. Maybe some of us don't know her. She's a very big woman. My madams are here. Madam Hilda is here. Madam Felicity is also here. Yeah, she's a council member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana. She's a big woman. So apart from KPMG, she's also a very big woman. I will do a very brief, because most of the things have been said already. Okay. Accountants, we don't like preparing slides, so forgive me. My slides are very, very, very dull, but very good. So my name is Daniel Bagen, CAE and So basically, an outline of what I plan to talk about. Most of the things have been covered by my madam. So briefly, what I'll touch on will be I'll begin with the question like she did. Then we'll talk about the consequences of keeping different books. Some of us, we are here, we have about 5 books. When I mentioned it, someone is smiling, she knows herself. Then we'll take about tax or GRA's perspective of that. Then I'll jump the importance of bookkeeping, difference between bookkeeping and accounting, because my boss has started on them. Then maybe look at the 5 categories. So briefly, the first question is that has bookkeeping or accounting been of help to anyone here? So we'll start with the question. So, yes, can you give a microphone? Has it been of help to you before?
Okay.
Those who mentioned that they are doing something, we'll ask them, yes.
Okay. So I had a shop at Makola.
Okay.
And I kept a sales day book where they were recording sales. So at the end of the day, I didn't go to the market that day. But at the house, they brought my sales book. And when I did the cast, the total was 8,700. And I've told them, anything you sell out, please go and bank full. Don't take a peso from it. So I had given them petty cash account for petty things. So when they brought my pay-in slip for that day, it was 7,700. But when I cast, or I did the cast in the book, it was 8,700. So I said, wow, 1,000 Ghana cedis gone
A day.
A day. So I had to follow up with the pay-in slip, and then please keep your pay-in slips well. So I went to the bank with my pay-in slip, and I went to the teller, Madam, my boy, they sold 8,700, but he brought a pay-in slip of 7,700. Then the teller told me, Madam, when we did his casting on the pay-in slip, it was 8,700, but when he was totaling, he wrote 7,700. But I have kept 1,000 here because if I had given it to him, he wouldn't have brought it. So assuming I didn't cast the sales day book, I would have lost 1,000 Ghana, even to the teller or the boy. I may not know.
Thank you very much. Wow, that's powerful. You don't want to say any other story. Just one more person. No one. So we will come to that, the filing or record keeping, my own record keeping. You can easily close down. You can easily run out of business. Because one of the things is that, for instance, our madam mentioned about writing the amount people owe her, and then the amount that she also owes people. If you don't know the amount people owe you, you can imagine. Before you realize they are gone, you will lose money. So if there is no record on how much people owe you, you are getting there. So we are living here with a kind of a changed mentality that every record counts. So everything that we do has a monetary value attached to it. That's why the madam said that bookkeeping, accounting is a language of business. Everything has monetary value. Even now in accounting, we don't even deal with only money. Then there are non-monetary part of it. The environmental report. There are so many reports that we do apart from money. So everything that you do, there is money attached to it. So just one bad financial decision, as I said, then you are gone. I will touch on this one. I will jump a lot of them, but so these are some of the books that people are keeping. I just wrote 3 of them. Some people can have as many as 5. At the end of every year, they have about 5 books. It's dangerous. So we look at the consequences. By one, people have a main or actual book, that one there. That's the audited one, the main one. That's the reality. In fact, some of them, they don't even mind having that. A lot of our SMEs, I deal with a lot of SMEs, so I know. They are not interested in keeping books, because at the end of the day, once I get my profits, I'm gone. Once I make my money, it's done deal. No, that's not the case. You can end up in trouble when you are growing. Serious trouble. So don't only focus, some people even don't focus on the first one at all. What they do is that they keep one for the banks. When they need financial assistance from any finance, venture capital or a bank or a savings and loans or affinity, if they need help from affinity, then they will come to you, accountant. You have to do magic. This is my balance sheet, this is my cash advance, this is my bank balance, you have to do something. Then people cook books every now and then. You can imagine, we'll get there. So that is for banks and other finance houses. Then the other thing that people do is for preparing financial statement or having their books for January. They have special books for January, they have special books for their banks, then they have special books for themselves. It goes on and on and on. But these are some of the consequences. I'll touch on some of the consequences for us. The first one is that now, with the help of our Vice President, digitalization is everywhere. GRA is going digital. They are taking everything digital. So anything that has human part or man capital as part of it, they are trying to eliminate it. So they are introducing new strategies. So if you are here, you are preparing different books for GRA, different books for your bank. And you know what, let me go on the first one. The bank, for instance, when we need financial assistance, then we go and cook things. I've seen a lot of institutions. Then they will get the capital. Meanwhile, they are not ready for that expansion or growth that they are dreaming of. They've not put it that we need this for this, like my boss said. Doesn't even know how much he or she wants. What happens, I've seen businesses, they've been able to secure $1 million years ago, $2 million, $3 million. And when the money comes, because they lied in their books to the banks to secure that loan, when it comes, they are not able to manage it. They are not able because they don't have that capacity. You see, in Akan, we have a proverb that said that, okay, say, what? Now, I forgot, okay, said that, okay, say what that. And then, it's your own cup of tea. You will see who will cook for you. Meanwhile, your mom is dead. So some of us, our businesses are not doing so well. We shouldn't be shy. Let the book speak to it. Don't try to cook it to look nice. Because when you present to the bank and they give it to you, you will come and you wouldn't know how to manage it. So let me move on. Now, digitalization everywhere. What GRA is trying to do is that they are eliminating the human part, like I mentioned. Now, in preparing different books for GRA, some even hide their bank account. So the person has about, the business has about 3 bank accounts or 2 bank accounts. When he comes, he has this bank account, that one year, bank statement, GRA. This bank account, we are dropping it. Do you know what they are doing now? You know, now when you open accounts, you are required to give your 10 numbers. Yeah. Okay. So now a time will come, someone will sit at the office. As soon as he captures your 10 number in the portal, all your bank, the banks that you've opened accounts with, they drop. All the banks. So if you have 10 banks in Ghana, you are banking with, they will drop. That is what they are doing now. It's a secret we are living here with. So don't be cooking and hiding things. Rather, we'll show you strategies you can use. We know businessmen, we don't like paying taxes. No one likes paying taxes. Me, I don't like it. You too, you don't like it. But there are certain strategies that you can take advantage of rather than going to get yourself involved in a mess. Okay, so we'll get there. Withholding tax. Like our sister mentioned, there are people, they have government contracts, they have contracts here and there. They try to hide, reduce their revenues, report to GRA. Now this is what they are doing. When they go on the portal, as soon as they enter your 10 number, all the withholding taxes that people have deducted from your businesses, maybe I need to explain what withholding taxes. So when you sell to corporate institutions, and government institutions, usually they will take a portion of it as tax, okay, and then they will file it to GRA and pay to GRA. So when you make a sale to them of, let's say, a 50,000 cedis, they will say that, oh, it's a service. So let's deduct 7.5% and pay to GRA. Now, they pay to GRA and it's recorded in your account. You have made a sale of 50,000 to them. Now you go and record that you made a sale of 25,000. Because they have captured that sale in GRA's portal, it will take it out. So someone had a government contract, millions of cedis, and then he understated the revenue. Meanwhile, when they went to his account in GRA, the kind of revenues that the person has made, like times 10, they will catch you. Now that's where they are going. They will catch you. After about me, they will catch you. So what we have to do now is to make use of certain things, not to escape them totally. So we'll come to that. So withholding tax will bring you. Now, as I said, there are strategies. We have tax evasion, we have tax avoidance. Evasion is what we are talking about. When you evade, some of us, you don't even pay a dime. You won't do that. No, you get yourself into trouble. Recently, I heard of a case, a GRA friend. The person had reported on zero revenue. He had filed his tax for the year. It's a real estate company doing big business. And then he found zero. That, oh, and you know his excuse that he was pumping money into the business and paying people. For 1 year, you are pumping money into the business and you didn't make a CD. So zero revenue. So such a person, you get yourself into trouble. Now, nobody can help you. And because of the digitalization agenda, now a time will come, the GRA people who helps you in trying to reduce your tax liabilities and everything, they are trying to eliminate them. So everything will be online. Now we found online. A time will come, audit will be done online. Everything will be done online. So you end up getting yourself into trouble. So okay, so let me touch briefly on this. There's tax evasion, there is tax avoidance. There are strategies that we can use. So tax evasion is a crime, it's not good, you are evading, that one is bad. But there are certain strategies that we can make use of to reduce our tax burden. I had a quite so some of them. So what happens is that for every tax society or for every country, there are potholes in their tax systems. So what tax avoidance does is that we take advantage of the tax potholes in the tax system. Then we dwell on that, and then we won't have any issue. For instance, let me give you a typical example that Ghanaians are using now for Momo to sweep e-levy. Instead of transferring to someone, let's say 1,000 cedis, you ask the person, oh, go to the nearest Momo vendor, and then I will allow cash out, enter my PIN, and then you withdraw. So the person will end up paying, oh, it's all over. So you end up paying only 10 cedis for, let's say, 1,000 cedis, instead of paying e-levy on 1,000 cedis. That is what is going on. And it's it illegal? It's not illegal. You are saying I shouldn't, when I transfer, you charge me, when I withdraw, I won't pay. That is tax avoidance.
Yeah.
So people are taking, it's a pothole in the system, it's a pothole in the e-levy bill. It's a pothole, and it's not fraud. So if a client wants to pay you and you say that, or you want to pay your supplier, you say, okay, I'm standing by home, you've not done anything, that is a pothole in the system. There are several potholes, but some of them I won't reveal them here. So some of them, the higher client, I won't reveal them, they are online too. So there are potholes in the system. We'll show you as time goes on, we'll leave our contact details for where. There are portals. So take advantage, like for instance, the e-levy, take advantage of those portals rather than dodging the whole system totally and completely. That one, you'll find yourself into trouble. So we'll talk more about that one later. The importance of bookkeeping is been mentioned. Tax preparation, budgeting. A lot of SMEs don't do budgets. A lot of us don't do budgets. And it's risky for our business. So what is a budget? It's a plan of action, both financial, monetary and non-monetary. What I plan to do next year, or we are in the second half. Usually when I look at the first half, I did a sales of, let's say, 100,000 Ghana cedis. In the second half, how much am I planning to sell? That is a budget. How much am I planning to? So you do budget, when you do your budget, or some businesses, they are just spending. You just spend on everything. We don't draw a budget to say that at the end of every year, I know that I buy tomatoes of 100 cedis. for my food, for my catering job. Maybe every month I'm supposed to spend 100, but so far as I have gotten the money, let me stock. Then you stock 500 or something before you realize you are having over for the year. So the budget will help you in planning. So we are all living here with a budget mentality that once I'm out of here, the next 6 months, what budget do I have in place? At the end of every month, assess yourself. Have I done well, or have I met my budget? Even the nation, we have a budget, although it's always a deficit. There is a budget. So we can have a budget. The next important of keeping proper, the word is proper bookkeeping, is for tax purposes. Now, this is very, very vital. We'll come there later. What happens is that, GRA, when they come, the reason why I'm stressing on GRA, because most of us, that is where our problem is. That is the reason why we keep books. So GRA, we are, everything is fine. So it's not GRA, we need help, then we call for booking, or we need bank, then we call for. So you'll be there, then GRA will come that want to do an audit. Now this is what happens. When they come to do an audit, your ability to show them your books and show them the records that you have will inform them the kind of action that they will take. They can be very, very abusive. When they come, they have targets. GRA, every GRA official that comes for audit, they have targets. So when they come, they have targets, official targets and unofficial targets. You understand what I mean? Yeah. So official targets and or announced targets and unannounced targets. So when they come to you, they have what they have in mind, what they have to get from you. As soon as they realize that your bookkeeping is poor, they maltreat you, they do buga. They do everything to molest you. That is what they do. That is the more reason why you have to keep record. But you don't know when they will come. At times it can be 5 years into your business, they will not show up. And when they come, they will look at when you incorporated, when you started, trying to audit everything. So at any point in time, you don't know when they will come. They have become Jesus. So you have to prepare for them. Take your records serious, your filing. Because when they come, let me give you a typical example of a client that they came not long ago, about 2 months ago. When they came there, so the client had his records keeping was on point. So his bank statement and everything. Let me show you one of the molesting that GRA does. They took all the receipts and everything, total, they didn't get anything. So usually they want to see that you are hiding revenues. They know what we do. So when they come, they are also alert. They look at all those things. They check all the invoices. They didn't get anything. They have about 3 methods of calculating your revenue. When they check your receipts and they don't find any faults, now they'll go to your bank statement. They went to look at all the deposits that the person had passed through the bank statement, and they say that this is your revenue. Just like that. So if the person hadn't kept records of some of the movements, so you can assume that even when the bank reverses a transaction and it comes as a deposit, you are saying that it's a sale. It's not correct. But because you've not been able to keep your records, they will abuse you. They will say that this is your sale. So when they finish, the sale was times 3 or whatever. You know what happened? The person was making some dollar inflows. So he always converts dollar to CD, move dollar to CD. And all those things are deposits. When GRA comes, they will say that you are making revenue, but these are interbank transfers or transactions. But when you have your documents there, I did interbank. So we do interbank and we even throw the slips away. These are interbank movements. This is my letter to the bank, or this is my slip to the bank that I moved money from GCP, or I moved money from my dollar account. If GRA would like to, they will do and molest you and count it as if it's a sale. That is when you fail to keep proper records. So, and then the last thing, we also make informed decision. Some of us cannot track how much people, apart from how much people owe us, we don't know how well we are growing. If we ask us, how much do you make last year? How much do you make in 2020, 2021? Some of us, we can't tell. Oh, I have an idea that averagely a month I do 50,000 or I do 100,000 or 200,000 a year. When I multiply, no, it doesn't work like that. You have to make sure you know that last year, did I do well? Even with the income level, you can get higher incomes and get higher losses. You can be making so much and be spending so much than you even thought you were spending. So it helps you in making decisions. That's how come a lot of businesses fail. importance of the difference has been touched on. So categories of bookkeeping. A lot of us only dwell on the first two, income and expenses. Like Mami said, income and expenses, but there is more to it. There is more to it. Apart from the income and expenses, you can have assets. Income and expenses, I don't need to explain the assets. So assets are basically, I won't give the accounting definition or recognition and all this. So assets basically they can come in two forms. You can have your fixed or non-current assets, like your assets are your buildings, your furniture, your computers and everything. The assets, and then the non-current assets are basically your cash balances and all those. I don't want to disturb you on that. So you need to know at any point in time how much you have in your books, as what do you have in your bank account, what do you have in my cash account, how much do people owe me. There's also an asset. When people owe you, it's an asset. How much do people owe me? It's an asset. You need records of that, because tomorrow some people have oversight of everything, and then he will ignore, thinking that no one owes him. But when he digs further, you see that hey, Adra, but then 1,500 but you really, there is no record to track it. The next thing is liabilities. Some of us too, we don't keep records of how much we owe people. So when you, for instance, you are doing catering, you went to buy goods on credit, or you are doing real estate, you went to buy building materials on credit. At any point in time, when you are paying back, you should be able to track how much you are paying. Because the person will, some people, I will be there, some people will go, oh, I need a statement of how much I owe you. I'm like, you, what statement do you have? If I come and tell you that you are owing me 1 million cedis, meanwhile you are owing me 500,000 cedis, you are in trouble. It is headache for you. That day you won't sleep. But if you have record of how much you are owing the person, at any point in time when the person comes, you are confident that, hey, I owe you this. But some of us, we don't even know how much we are owing our banks for some loans that we have taken. So we need to make sure. And equity is basically your retained earnings, how much you have made and how much you have, which one goes how much you have pumped into your businesses. So some of us, we will just be pumping money into our businesses, but we can't tell how much we have pumped into our businesses. That will be under equity. That will be under equity. Okay, so this one, bookkeeping tips. That will end it. Bookkeeping tips. So the first one, do not mix your personal and business finances, like my madam said. Don't do that. A lot of business SMEs will do that. Ni business number is the person's personal Momo number. So every money that comes, you can't track anything. That's how come a lot of people, like, I know someone who is into clothing, bags. He sells bags, fashion. She imports from China. We did the capital 5 times, and some of us are victims. Why? We miss our personal business. So anything that comes, we are just buying. We don't know how much money is for the business and how much money is for me. From here, open an account with Affinity. Get a separate bank account for all banking transactions. Get a separate Momo account for. As soon as you mess it with your personal Momo transactions, your banking transactions, know that you are entering into a serious problem. Because at any point in time, you'll be entering your capital, working capital, you'll be eating into it before you realize you are done. Proper filing of supporting documents has been mentioned. Our receipts books, our invoices, our bank statements, our contracts. You see, when they come, for instance, you are importing things from China. You don't have any evidence that you are importing things from China to sell in Ghana. When GRA comes, they will ask for all your shipping documents. You don't have them. They will cancel it out and then make sure you pay the taxes on those profits. So filing is very, very key for you yourself. When every transaction, try and get a receipt. Every transaction that your worker does, you take some of them, you wouldn't get, like transportation. You wouldn't get. Now we have Uber and Bolt and all, you can get them. You can get them. Those that you can't get them, it should be just few. But as much as possible, for most of our transactions, let's get invoice receipts or source documents to attach them. But when they come, when you tell Jerry that you bought cement, you are into construction, you bought cement of 100,000, there is no evidence of it, they will cancel it out and make sure that you pay the tax on that expense. I think my time is due, and these ones, bookkeeping things, get a software you mentioned, keep track of your review your financial reports, it's all been mentioned. So that's it. I think that's all. So if you need help, you can contact us. We'll help you. Thank you.